Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to The Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain. Getting you guys ready for an action-packed show here today on The Anthony Sain Show. Y'all know whenever I say action-packed, it's probably got something to do with wrestling. You're right, because my man Bobby Ford from 901 Wrestling is coming on today. They got a big show coming on September the 2nd. Bobby just got out of the Wild Card Rumble. He's ready to take on Ken Dane. Going to talk to him about his career, talking about that match with Ken Dane, of course. A little controversy maybe between him and Andy Mack, the way things went down. Those guys opened up the Wild Card Rumble. Those guys are close, good friends. We're going to talk to Bobby Ford about that. Also, the sit-down with Sain today. This might be the biggest boss ever that has walked into this building. I can't wait till he gets here. Mr. Fred Jones from the Southern Heritage Classic. Year 34 is coming up. Man, just such an honor to have him here today. He's going to speak about the Southern Heritage Classic. I want to talk to him about the major question I've been sitting on for about a couple weeks, ever since we booked this guest, Kenny, is the $1 million question. Literally, I want to ask him.
Right.
I want to hear his thoughts on the funding for the arena, the stadium. I want to see what he thinks, how that should be handled with the allocated funds that are coming to the city of Memphis. I want to hear what Fred Jones, because the Southern Heritage Classic, if you've never been, I'm telling you, it's a major deal here in the city of Memphis. So, and I'm sure all parties involved know that. I definitely want to talk to him about that. And, of course, the bigger issue, Jackson State not being a part of the Southern Heritage Classic this year and having University of Arkansas Pine Bluff take on Tennessee State. Want to get his thoughts on that. But, yeah, since the last time we talked, everyone, I got a text from our producer, Kenny Stubblefield, last night around 12 a.m., 12:18 a.m. to be exact.
Right.
And it's a screenshot. And it says, Sain, I think Mikey's going to play for Memphis. I said, so I read it. It's a screenshot from GoTigersGo.com, which at one time was a real news source for Tiger stuff, where you could just, it was a real big deal. GoTigersGo.com is a big deal. And it had the roster, and it was a picture of guess whose name? Well, I don't have to guess who, because you sent it to me.
I sent it to you.
Mikey Williams, everyone.
First time we've seen him on the roster.
First time Kenny has been stalking.
I've been stalking.
GoTigersGo.com. Him and his many henchmen have been working around the clock, taking shifts, refreshing their browser to see if Mikey Williams.
F5.
Right. And last night at 12:18, Kenny Stubblefield got confirmation that Mikey Williams' name appeared on the GoTigersGo.com website under the Tiger basketball roster. And I woke up and I processed that. I called Kenny. We shared our thoughts about it. And Kenny Stubblefield, I am here to say that by the time this show airs, it may be official news. It may be out there. Someone else may be scouring the web for on the GoTigersGo.com. But I'm here to say that I believe that Mikey Williams will be a Tiger. This looks
I think it's 100% confirmed at this.
Yeah.
Not confirmed. I think that confirms it.
Yeah, it has to be.
It hasn't been reported.
Yeah.
You're the first person I've heard report it today.
Yeah. Look at me stepping off into those realms. Get out of my way, Hitman Hoops. And who else does? Who is a Hitman Hoops?
Who is a Hitman Hoop? Get out of my way. He's going to flame you in the Discord.
I already know. Get out of my way, Parth. What's Parth's last name? You don't know either. Get out of my way, Parth. Get out of my way, Jason Munns. Who else? Who else try to get in these streets with me, man?
Nobody.
Get out of my way, Leon Taylor.
There you go.
No, I'm going to stay in my lane. But yeah, shout out to my boy Kenny for sending me that text. Because I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just the voice of the show.
You're just the voice.
I didn't do the work. I didn't do the groundwork.
You're the voice of the streets, though, man.
Yeah, I am the voice of the streets. I knew Mikey was in the mound, though.
Yep. We did know that.
I try to stay in my lane, man. But here, look at us breaking Tiger basketball dudes. But yeah, it does appear that Mikey Williams will be on Coach Penny Hardaway's roster in some capacity. And let's talk about it real quick, if you don't mind, Kenny Stubblefield. The more and more I thought about this, Terry Davis, of course, sat next to me the other day, and he talked about this. Terry Davis from the Tri-State Defender. He said, yeah, he'll be here. I think, he's going to be on the team. Maybe Terry knew something. Maybe the people at Go Tigers Go told him, hey, man.
Is Terry Davis the voice of the streets?
Yeah, maybe Terry Davis is GoTigersGo.com.
Is he
Maybe.
Bro,
he's the admin.
I think you cracked the case.
Man,
on
cracked the code for real. Taylor Davis might be the guy who updates the website. But yeah, but when you go on there, Mikey Williams is on the roster. He's got a bio on there. I was like, damn, man, this miss feels like, Mikey's gonna be part of the team. And I think I'm okay with that, man. I don't think I have a problem with that at all, man. And I understand the legal stuff, those type of things. I don't think Penny would be doing this unless he really feels confident that this is going to be something manageable. We'll see. Hopefully by the time you guys see this, it might be official news. We might be some real Back to the Future type shit. But
I don't think anything's going to be I'll tell you when I think it's going to be official.
Okay, what?
September 12th is his next court date.
What's it?
His
next court date. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
I've said this for a while now, Anthony. I genuinely think that more than likely what's going to happen on the 12th is that there's going to have been some discussions between the lawyers in California, and you're going to see Mikey, who is a first-time charged individual. He's never been charged with anything before.
Right.
You're going to see this thing being pled down to where he's not going to have any, repercussions in terms of, an actual prison sentence or anything like that. So I think that's when you'll know. Well,
that ain't far, man. That ain't far at all. So, So we both feel like Mikey's going to be on the team this year.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk basketball then.
Let's go.
We know he's not going to be the starting point guard. That's definitely going to be Javon Quinley. But I've been kind of looking at this roster, man, and I've been trying to make sense of this. And I've been saying, okay, is he going to come here and be a third point guard? Is he going to be playing behind Jalen Young or, all these type of things? And I looked at the whole roster. Okay, you got Javon Quinley, you got Jalen Young, who are both, seasoned, experienced point guards. And Jalen Young may be a better point guard than Mikey Williams will be today.
Yeah.
With all the accolades that Mikey's did in high school. That's high school. Jalen Young has played on the highest level. Like I act like he's some kind of awesome player. I don't know anything about this kid. But just the fact that he's played some D1 basketball probably puts him at an advantage over Mikey. Then I started looking at your shooting guard position because Mikey Williams is more of a combo guard. You've heard people talk about that this entire time. I know Leon Taylor's been huge about saying that, Mikey Williams is a combo guard. And I look at Caleb Mills, who's your starting shooting guard. I don't see another true shooting guard on this roster outside of Caleb Mills. I see some versatile wings that can slide down to the two. You may want to do Jaden Hardaway at the two or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I look at the situation with Mikey Williams, like, okay, could he play in the same backcourt with a Jalen Young or Javon Quinley and play a little bit with Caleb Mills as well? Could he be that combo guard that you can use in multiple situations, getting about, I don't know, 20 minutes a game, maybe 18 to 20? Could he be in that type of situation?
Yeah.
And with that, could he be almost like a cheat code type of player where you're pulling a high-level high school player, freshman, off your bench who can come out there and score, who can play make, his energy can probably flip a game just because some of the highlight plays he's able to make.
You just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You just hit the nail on the head. That's what he is.
Yeah.
You look at the roster and you look at the guys that could potentially back up Caleb Mills, back up Javon Quinley. One thing you're missing with everybody that's on the roster is an elite playmaker. Right. And that's what he is.
Yeah.
He's
a playmaker.
He's a playmaker.
He's a guard.
Yeah, he's a guard. He can be your lead ball guy possibly.
Yeah.
But you could also see him on the wing, he shoots the ball well, he gets to the basket well. It's one of the things Caleb Mills does well is get to the basket.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a guy who's going to be able to come off the bench and fill both of those roles. And I think there's going to be a legit conversation.
Yeah.
And a legit battle in camp for that backup lead guard role with Jalen Young. Jalen Young is a fantastic player.
I wouldn't be surprised if Mikey gets him up out of there.
Come on. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But I think right now going in, I think I would put Jalen Young as the backup point guard because, again, that experience level you've talked about. Right. But when it comes to a playmaker, when it comes to a guy who can get his shot off, that's Mikey Williams.
Yes. In February, we might be having a totally different conversation. In January, February, March, we're talking differently about this for sure. Assuming Mikey's on the team,
I think you're 100% right.
And see, here's my thing: I wouldn't be totally surprised if not only your backup point guard minutes, but your backup point guard and your backup shooting guard minutes all go to Mikey by the time it's over. He's that good. He's that level of player who, once he figures out the college game,
that's it.
He could get Jalen Young up out of here. But he's playing backup point and two. You know what I mean? So
or you have two high level guard rotations.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe you don't have to have Jalen Young, or maybe you don't have to have Mikey on the ball. Yeah. You bring Jalen Young
on the ball and then put him at the two.
Come on.
I think that could work too.
I mean, you're talking about.
We've overthought this shit the entire summer, man.
I think we might have a little
like,
bit.
For real. Yeah, he's a guard that can play, man. Like, just you'll figure it out. And I'm sure Penny will.
And I think what's going to happen is, I think Penny understands that there is a level of a wait and see approach with Mikey in terms of just getting him acclimated to this level, right? Mm-hmm. Like, man, he's been through a lot these last few months, and it's going to take him some time to get ready. But I'm telling you, when you said February and March, when you said we're having a different conversation in February and March, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah. I
think you're going to see him take the non-conference schedule and just get acclimated to the workout routines, the stuff that he has to get done, and then, man, he's unleashed in that conference.
All right, bigger star, as far as star power on the team, Mikey Williams or Imani Bates?
It's got to be Mikey, right?
I agree. It's Mikey. Second question, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or what are the chances that it could go bad?
I don't want to listen, bro. I do not want to put that bad juju out there, right? Like, I don't want to put that. I think that my question would be being able to come into a program where you're not the best player and being able to bend your will to the team, right? Like, that's what I want to, those are the biggest questions I have. The basketball stuff, I have zero questions about with Mikey. Yeah. And this is what every high-level high school player has to do when they come into a college basketball program is bend their will. And, one of the things that I'll say is Penny Hardaway, I think, has handled this thing masterfully. Yeah. Because when everybody else, including myself, I'll put myself out there like that, when everybody else, including myself, was saying drop him, get rid of him, he's not worth it, man, he stuck by that dude. Yep. And so I think there's going to be a level of buy-in that Imani Bates never had here. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting, man. It can go very well. I think it probably will. But you're talking about that level of stardom, though. You know what I mean? Because you're talking about Javon Quinley, who you know is going to be your starter. This dude was one of the founders of the Jelly Fam, which is a big viral, these guys were big, social media booming dudes or whatever. And that thing is dwarfed by Mikey Williams, if you really think about it.
And Mikey Williams came up in the perfect time. Jelly Fam would have been bigger if
it happened maybe a couple years
later. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Mikey Williams parlayed into he probably his stardom into NIL deals while he's still in high school. Yep. $1 million deal with Puma. All this stuff, man, for Mikey Williams. Man, I'm down, man. Sign me up, man. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy, but it almost has to be. It's Tiger basketball.
Just think about this roster, though.
Yeah, it's going to be nasty.
Bro, you're talking 10 deep of very little drop-off in terms of talent level at every position. Yeah. Especially if DeAndre comes back.
Yep.
Good God.
Yep. Hopefully we'll hear more about all those situations, more about Malcolm Dandridge, hopefully as well in the coming days, coming weeks. But yeah, man, this Mikey Williams thing starting to look real, man. His name has been updated on the GoTigersGo.com website. Take for that what you want. I think it means a lot. Hey, I think it means a lot for real. If anybody has the University of Memphis roster, not the roster, the school enrollment thing, yeah, go check that out. See if that's updated yet. Let us know. Let us know in the comments. We're about to take a break, man. When we come back, man, one of the true legends of the city of Memphis as far as events, sports, and more, man. Fred Jones, the founder of the Southern Heritage Classic, going to join us here for the Sit Down with Sain on Anthony Sain Show. We're about to take a break. We come back. My man Fred Jones is going to be in the building. We'll see y'all then.
What's What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Every single opportunity with all this realignment nonsense going on, every single opportunity this year, especially at home, is a way to show power conferences that
Without a
you're
doubt.
worthy.
Without
You know what I
a
mean? Like, not only the on-field product, I think for the team, winning those shows your value. But if you have
Atmosphere.
35, 40,
Yes.
45 deep every single game, that means something. That really does.
Yes.
Even if you win 10 games and there's no one there, it's like how
Then you're not attractive to,
You're not
to
showing
bigger
value.
conferences. You're not.
as much as the product has to show its value, I think the fan base does too. You have
Yes.
to show your value.
Yes, because guess what comes from butts and seats? Money.
Yep.
What is all of this about at the end of the day?
Money.
That is it.
Yep.
So if you show you can fill a stadium, have people engaged from a television audience, and win games, that's the secret sauce.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Southern Heritage Classic Weekend is coming September 7th through the 9th, and we have the man himself, the founder, Mr. Fred Jones is in the building for Sitdown with Sain. Mr. Jones, how you doing today, sir?
Good. I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Man, good to have you here for sure. I was joking about having that we don't have many legends in the building. I definitely will consider you one. This is year 34 of the Classic coming up in a few weeks. Tell us what made you decide to bring the Classic here to Memphis 34 years ago.
I've been in the entertainment business long before I started the Classic, traveling all over the country doing events, and I would see events like this in other places, and I felt like we should do the same thing in Memphis.
Right.
It was a challenge for me to try and take what I had learned or had seen in other places and do it in Memphis, and that was the kind of the push to do it, but it was really to show that I really could do something else other than concerts and what have you, although entertainment was a part of what we were trying to do.
But when you stepped into doing it, I'm sure you had a lot of fear, a lot of naysayers, people telling you, it's not going to work, all those type of things. What was your biggest fear, or even like your biggest setback when you first got started?
Well, it wasn't the fear of it at all. It was the fact of trying to get people to buy into it. There were so many people, prominent people in the community that said, this can be successful, and certainly can be successful in Memphis. And I didn't take them to heart. After having seen similar events or other types of events around the country, why not Memphis? That was the initial pushback. People just really believed that it could happen in Memphis.
Yeah, I'm sure you dealt with a lot of naysayers, like I said, as far as it's concerned. For most of my life, Mr. Jones, it's been TSU versus JSU. It's been, far back as I can remember, it's been TSU versus JSU. The agreement ended when Coach Deion Sanders was there, of course. What are your thoughts on having to head in a new direction now with University of Arkansas Pine Bluff sliding in against Jackson State? Against Tennessee State, I'm sorry.
Well, it's really not a new direction. I mean, it's still two HBCU schools. They happen to be from the same conference, the Southwest Athletic Conference, which is called the SWAC. But we've done this before, although it's been a long time. 1991, we had Mississippi Valley State, and then in 1993, we had the legend Eddie Robinson with Grambling. So it had been done before, but there's obviously a big span in between the last time we did it and what we're doing now. But it's a similar. Everything is basically the same. Not basically. It is the same. You know, the only difference is that we have a different team playing Tennessee State. But you know, the pageantry, the camaraderie, the culture, everything about an HBCU Classic still remains the same. So I think people will see readily that part of it is still the same. It just the marquee change from Jackson State, Tennessee State to UAPB versus TSU.
Do you see, in a perfect world, is there any chance you could see any possible renegotiations or y'all coming back to the table again and getting it back to TSU, JSU, or is that something you just, you're fine?
Well, it's two parts to that. One is that I'm totally concentrating on this year. That's been our model every year, not to look. You plan for the future, but you have to stay in the moment and do all the things you need to do in that year, and that's what we're doing this year. I have not had any conversation with anybody at Jackson State about the future. So if there was going to be some conversation, there would be something later, but certainly not now.
Everyone knows about the football game on Saturday, but the Classic is also known for the total experience the entire weekend. So much going on. You guys have the college fair, the coaches luncheon. Penny Hardaway has a golf classic going on. The parade through Orange Mound, the fashions and brunch event. All those things are just things that are all part of this whole weekend, plus other events. How important are those things to the Classic experience?
That was part of the idea, to bring not only entertainment into it, but to bring the community into it. Each one of those events has a community component. Parade in Orange Mound, high school ballad of bands in Whitehaven, the fashion show with the Coalition of 100 Black Women. It's about the community, and that's what we always have done. So, as I said earlier, those things, none of those things have changed. In fact, the Coalition of 100 Black Women and their fashion show started in the second year of the Classic in 1991. So we've had stabilizing of events pushed and promoted by community organizations. And that's what we've done, and that's what we continue to do. And as long as there's a Classic, you always have that part of it.
You were talking earlier about your past and entertainment, things like that. Thursday night is the big concert. Gladys Knight is going to be performing. I'm sure there's going to be an amazing event. What's one of your most memorable? Who is one of your most memorable performers that you've had on those nights?
Strange as it might seem, is the concerts in the game. I very rarely see them.
Okay, I get it though. Yeah,
unless I'm seeing them on tape. I can't remember what show. I probably just go way back. Ruth Brown, the legend Ruth Brown. We were doing a tour with her on a tour called Seagram's Gin Presents A Taste of the Blues. B.B. King, Bobby Bland, Albert King, Charlie Musselwhite, just to name a few. And she was the host. And man, she had amazing recall. I mean, this was her coming back from all of those years she had been down, and then she comes back and she did the tour, and then she performed 1 year at the Classic. And she personified what that era was about. It was about the show and the presentation. She would walk around on a cane and, baby, I just can't make it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Brown. Cane go up in the air, and boy, off on the stage she would go. It's like, who was that person I was talking to earlier?
Right.
But that was, again, being able to see legends like that, although it was at the latter part of her career and her life, but she showed what being in the entertainment business and show business was about.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good for sure. Another big event, you talked about the high school battle of bands. The battle of bands at the halftime show is always incredible. The tailgating is always incredible. I was telling my friend, my producer, Kenny Stubblefield, he's a non-melanated brother. So a lot of these things he's never really experienced before. And I was telling him about the whole experience of the Southern Heritage Classic, man. Like I said, the halftime show is incredible. The tailgating is like no other tailgating experience you've probably ever been to. What are your thoughts on those things? Like how they add to the culture of the event?
You know, it's like, for instance, the tailgate. Mm-hmm. When we first talked about incorporating the tailgate into the Classic, mm-hmm. we had about maybe 500 people out there, maybe.
Yeah. It's a lot more than 500 now.
Oh, yeah. But it was like, I'm not going out there. It's too hot. It's mm-hmm. too this, too that, and the other. And, you know, and they were a little slow coming to the party. Mm-hmm. But it just, over time, it took on a life of its own. Mm-hmm. And that's what has happened, not only with tailgating, it happened with the parade, it happened with the fashion show. All of these events that have been around a while, they took a life of their own, and that's what makes them so strong and popular and significant, because people take ownership of those events mm-hmm. like they take ownership of the Southern Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
So it's an intricate part of it, and those are the things that, it's like driving the car. I mean, you know, you have the car, and it can be whatever it is, mm-hmm. Mercedes or BMW or whatever you want to call it. But the parts have to work. The engine got to work, and every part of that makes the car go. Well, those events, those community participation, what really makes the Classic go. Mm-hmm. It's although people make a lot about me, I understand that, but in the reality, it's the fans, their participation in what make the Classic what it is today.
All right, Mr. Jones, I'm gonna be honest with you on this next question. I kind of feel away. I kind of feel jealous because I went to the University of Memphis for 1 year. So every year around this time of year, I feel away because I don't feel like I'm really part of the experience, because I feel jealous, so to speak, Mr. Jones. You know what I mean? I see all the camaraderie, I see all the black college stuff and all that. I be wanting to be a part of, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do thank you for bringing it to Memphis, because I do feel like if just for them 24 hours that I'm part of the black college experience, Mr. Jones. So I want to thank you for that for sure. But I do have a question that I've been wanting to ask you all day long. And I'm excited to ask you this because it's a hot button issue here in the city of Memphis. You've got the funding thing with the buildings, what everybody's kind of talking about. You got the Grizzlies pulling for their money, University of Memphis pulling for their money. And I've been sitting in the corner like, I wonder what does Fred Jones say about the money? Because I'm like, y'all ain't gonna leave I got Fred Jones out there. Because I'm like, I know that the Classic is a big deal. I know the amount of money that comes here. I mean, it's public information. There's a lot of money that gets spent in the city of Memphis because of your awesome event that you have. So I'm like, all right, y'all need to ask Fred Jones what he think about this whole funding thing. So I feel pride on today. I was just talking about the lack of pride that I feel because I'm not part of the black college experience. But now I get to ask you the actual $1 million question. How do you feel about the funding situation, especially since you use the Liberty Bowl every year?
Well, you're probably not gonna like this answer.
All right. I've been wanting to ask this question for a week, man.
You know,
but go ahead.
I came up in another era. Mm-hmm. I say that I've been a blessing that I came along when I did, when I was born, and transitioned, you know, from segregation to integration and all that. So you got a chance to live all that. But one thing in the family structure, especially the black family structure, you did not talk when grown people were talking. Mm-hmm. It was an absolute no-no. We got grown people talking now.
Yeah.
You know, the city, the state, the Grizzlies. By the way, I was one of the original local owners. That was a
yes, sir.
part of the Grizzlies. University of Memphis. these are grown people.
Yeah.
So when grown people talking, I just
Staying out the way.
stay in my place.
Yes, sir.
That was, again, that's what we were taught, and I don't want to feel that I'm being evasive or anything, but they got to, they're going to figure it out. I mean, there's a lot of money, and there's a big need for the money. The stadium needs an overhaul. The FedEx Forum needs an overhaul. They got to decide if they're going to build a soccer stadium. All of those things, But one thing we can't do is that we got to be very particular and specific about what we're going to do, because having this amount of money available to us again in the future would be a little tough. So they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And the Classic is a big deal, and I think not only do we need the stadium, we need the whole city. I mean, this is not just what happens at right across the railroad track on Park Avenue is one of the biggest events in this town.
Yeah.
Really don't have anything to do with the stadium.
Yeah.
So, again, don't want to be evasive, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll stand to the side. They've asked, but they have some ideas, and I just okay. Well, when y'all figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way to look at it, because you've been doing it for 34 years. No matter how it's been, you've been doing it. So I'm sure you'll find a way to keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
Like I said, got a story for everything. But, that's the beauty, again, of the foundation of the Classic. We don't try to get off and have the focus away from what we're trying to do. This is an HBCU experience. It's a big-time event. It's got to be much bigger than any of us ever probably dreamed of in the beginning. And we want to keep that focus. So they'll figure it out, and, whatever they do, they're going to include Memphis. The Classic. Whatever's done at the stadium will involve the Classic. Right. And then we'll make whatever adjustments that we had to make going forward.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how it turns out for sure. Final question for you, Mr. Jones. In the 34 years of the Classic, what has been your biggest achievement? What are you the most proud of looking at year 34?
It's probably the simple version of that is smile on people's faces and what it means to people. I mean, we talk about the economic impact. We talk about how much money the schools have made. We talk about the players that have played in the Classic going on to play in the NFL. Right. All of that is in it. But when you talk about just the average person they plan for the year. They have meetings to say, this is what we're going to do for the Classic, and this is your role, that's your role, and they plan it out. And then when it all comes together and everybody's smiling and having a good time, it's very difficult to go to the game or to the tailgate or to the parade or to the fashion show or the concerts or anything else where people are not smiling. That's the beauty of it for me, and it makes us really want to work hard and to keep them smiling and enjoying themselves. I remember this one story. It was after the game, people came to me and said, well, look, our father is, having a tough time walking, and can you, help get somebody to help him, as we get to his car. It's a long walk. By that time, when they finished talking, he comes out. I mean, struggling to walk and
Right.
all that. And he said, man, I had to come. He was talking to me then. He said, I had to come. He said, this is something that I wouldn't want to miss.
Yeah.
You know, to be here with my family, and maybe I don't make it next year.
Yeah.
But I had to come this year. So, you know, with that kind of passion and that kind of dedication, you understand what this is about.
Right.
So we can't get off into any sidebars about whatever else is going on. We just need to put our best foot forward where people can enjoy themselves. And, you know, just for this gentleman and his family, this was a big deal. And we want to be able to continue to be a big deal, and that's why we work as hard as we do to try to have a great presentation.
Well, Mr. Jones, you've definitely been bringing smiles, joy to the city for 34 years now. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on today, Mr. Jones. Thank you for what you're doing with the Classic, man. We really
that's
appreciate it.
you know, that's you know, you're a native Memphian, and you want to do the best that you can. I mean, like I said, I've done shows and events all over the country, but to create one and have one in your hometown,
Yes.
and it to have the kind of success, the impact that it has, that's a whole nother world. You know, that's a whole nother feeling. It don't have anything to do with dollars and cents. It's just the fact that you want to be able to have something in your hometown. And it's kind of the spirit in which we all banded together to get the Grizzlies here.
Yeah.
It was something about our hometown, and I was glad that the Classic was able to play a part in that pursuit.
Yeah.
And we're still here, and it still has an impact, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah, we're all proud. It's just a proudful weekend. It's an extremely proudful experience. So thank you again, Mr. Jones, for coming on. Again, that was Fred Jones from the Southern Heritage Classic. Y'all know what it is, September 7th through the 9th. Go to the game. Go to everything. Go to the website. Check out everything that's going on that weekend. It's going to be a great experience. Make sure you guys check it out. About to take a break. When we come back, the three-pointer is coming at you live here on the Anthony Sain Show. See you guys in a minute.
Of the beers you've had and ranked on this show, on Tigers Untapped, what beer represents Tiger football this year?
What? First of all,
An incredible question.
what an absolutely thoughtful question. And I'm going, which is, I think, one of the highest rated beers that I've given in Memphis style lager for two reasons. One, this should be Silverfield's highest rated team. And two, I think this is going to be a Memphis style team. Grit, blue collar, hard nosed, defensive.
I'm going to say Memphis Sands.
Wow, they're like the aquifer.
Yes, I'm going to say Memphis Sands because I think this is
Because the rest of the Americans got to filter through Memphis Tiger football to get to the championship. TJ, I like where you're at.
something like that. I'm going to say because I think this is going to be one hell of a year, and Memphis Sands is one hell of a beer.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Football is a different game. When there's something special about a team, it is a palpable thing.
Yep.
When you get a defense that flies around and is aggressive and attacking and forces turnovers and gets sacks and creates negative plays, and you get an offense that is high flying and can score points and can be balanced and has playmakers, like those things are palpable. If this is just a team that plods through the first, 4 or 5 games and winnable games and they win them, but it's close and it's ugly, that's a big difference between going and thumping teams. Yes, just win is great. Win the games, but if you go out and you thump Bethune-Cookman and you thump Navy,
Score 55 points.
right?
Yeah.
And you look like, okay, man.
And
this-
hold them down to 14. Like, it means something.
Yes. 2019, 2018, 2017. That's what Memphis did against bad teams. They've played close games with Arkansas State the last 2 years. Go thump that team.
Yep.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. About to jump into the three-pointer. 3 big events going on in the world of sports as we speak. Number one, Vanessa Bryant and the Los Angeles Lakers announced that a bronze statue will be unveiled on February the 8th, 2024 to celebrate the life and career of Kobe Bryant. I think this is an awesome gesture. Today, the day of recording, August the 24th, people are calling this Kobe Day. Of course, he wore number 8, number 24. Kobe Bryant, what else can be said about him, man? One of the greatest players of all time. There are 3 players that I put into the upper echelon that I'll have greatest of all time conversations about, and that's Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. It's been an honor to watch all 3 of those guys play in their prime. And, you know, of course, the tragic loss we had with Kobe a few years ago, man, that shocked the NBA world. I had a conversation on the radio. Me and Peter Emerson were talking about how in my lifetime, we haven't seen anybody go at all. Everybody's here, man. Like all the GOATs of NBA are here, except for like Wilt Chamberlain's passed away. Oscar Robinson's still here. These supernatural athletes, you know, we lost Bill Russell, of course. But at the time, Bill Russell was still alive. But it's just so rare to see these guys pass away. Yeah. And Kobe Bryant, his death, man, still sends ripples. It still feels unreal. Yeah. It doesn't even feel like it's like no, man, Kobe's not dead. What are you talking? Like it's still wild to think about it. And it's good to see the Lakers doing this. Hope the statue's awesome, man. I've been to United Center in Chicago and I saw the Jordan statue up close. And I saw Dominique Wilkins one in Atlanta. Those are the only 2 I've seen. But, man, he deserves it. One of the greatest players of all time, like I said. I remember many battles that I would see him in the FedEx Forum or the Pyramid. And getting to see one of the greatest players of all time is definitely a pleasure and an honor. And I'm glad that the Lakers are doing this for Kobe Bryant. Number 2, ACC expansion, possibly. In the works, Kenny Stubblefield. SMU is set to join the ACC alongside Stanford and Cal. SMU won't see a dime of revenue for possibly 7 years, 2030. Well, later than that, because it's not starting today. So, yeah, 7 years, that's their agreement. They're basically buying their way into the ACC. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, man, you bums. Then I started thinking, hey, you're doing what they have to do to not be on the outside looking in. Yep. And people, for those of you who are saying, why didn't Memphis do this? Why didn't they go do that? I think that financially, the University of Memphis would not be able to do that.
They couldn't survive 7 years.
Yeah, 7 years with no conference revenue would be insane. They would get their ticket money. Of course, you'd be playing better teams. You'll get better draws, those type of things. But not getting any television money for 7 years, none at all would be. There's something I think SMU, who's one of the wealthier schools in the country, they can do that. But I don't think University of Memphis can. It sucks. Don't want to talk about this long, man, because it's really sad that the University of Memphis still feels an outside looking in. I was listening to Connor Dunning on the way up here, and he said something that just sums it up perfectly, though, man. He basically was saying, man, I've been a Tiger football, Tiger basketball fan of my life. I'm still going to root for Tiger football and Tiger basketball. I'm still going to go to games. I'm still going to watch it on television. It's still going to dominate talk radio. Still going to dominate podcasts. Yeah, man. Whatever it is, we're here for it. We're battle tested. We've been through it. So, yeah, man. ACC news, possible expansion. Number 3, interesting story. Stephen A. Smith was having a conversation about who's the better point guard, Magic Johnson or Steph Curry all time. And he alleged that Michael Jordan texted him and told him that.
Do you like those conversations? Let's start there first. Do you like those conversations?
I hate them. I hate the GOAT talk. The GOAT talk is crazy because going back to the whole Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, right.
I'm the type of person, if you give me LeBron, you give me Kobe, you give me Jordan. I can give you equal unbiased arguments for either one of those 3 to be the greatest of all time. Right. And arguments why the other 2 aren't. I can do that for any one of those guys. You give me either one of those, I can break it down why they are and why they aren't the greatest of all time. I don't making a definitive statement like that is crazy. But I'll say this as an interesting caveat to all of that. I try not to. I've said this all the time. I try not to speak about things that I didn't see, and I try not to give I don't give strong opinions about.
That's right.
Stuff that I wasn't a part of. My good friend Jay Ham, who came on a few months ago, he calls himself a hoop historian because he is. He goes back and he watches film. He'll watch whole games of seasons of stuff back in the 80s and 70s and 60s and 50s and, pre-Negro days of the NBA and short shorts and Chuck Taylors. He'll go back and watch all that. He's a hoop historian, literally. I'm not that guy. And if I didn't see it live, I'm not going back to see it in Memorex. So I'll be honest. I'm aware that Magic Johnson was that dude, but I do not remember a lot of Magic Johnson's prime. I didn't really start watching the NBA as a kid until I was maybe 8, 9 years old.
Right.
And my earliest memories of really watching the NBA was like 88.
Yep.
Pistons versus Lakers.
Pistons versus Chicago.
And now, all that, but I remember watching the finals when Detroit beat LA.
Right.
And I was pulling for Detroit.
Yep.
And I remember Magic being good, but I was a kid. Like, I don't remember what I was looking at. You know what I mean? My earliest memories of actually remembering stuff was Jordan, Pippen, Penny Hardaway when he came into the league in the early 90s.
Yep.
Those are my memories of the NBA. So I have a very limited opinion on Magic Johnson. I'm not going to sit and act like because it's Magic, he's better than Steph. I ain't never seen Magic pulling it from 30. I mean, and here's the thing this conversation I have with people all the time, man. And I have these conversations in barbershops, wherever I am. You hear people try to act like guys like Steph Curry, he's just going off like that because guys, they don't play defense like they used to.
Get out of here with that.
Man, you can drop Steph Curry in any era of sports and he's going to murder dudes. That dude's pulling up from anywhere on the court and he's making those shots. I don't care who you throw out there. I don't care what man you put in his face. Don't tell me these dudes today aren't playing defense.
It's a faulty premise from the jump because the defense in today's league is it's light years. Like the level of athleticism,
skill, and
skill,
all these type of things. And people talk about hand checking and yeah, man, get out of my face thinking because you were fouling dudes, you were playing good defense.
That's
I
right.
saw Michael Jordan cook dudes, and I saw dudes out there that looked like they didn't need to be professional basketball players.
Right.
And I'm not gonna say everything about today is better, but Steph Curry, I've saw all of Steph's career, and I'm not gonna say he's better than Magic. I don't know enough about Magic to tell you. I watch Winning Time.
Yep.
And it makes me go back and watch more Magic highlights. And I'm getting a better understanding that Magic was the man. But I'm an old dude, but I don't have vivid memories of Magic Johnson. Sorry, that's all I got. That's all I got for you.
Right.
And I also think that Stephen A. Smith is lying. I don't think Michael Jordan actually texted him about this and dropping the stats and all. I don't really think he really gives a damn one way or another.
It would be. Do you not think it would be pretty insane to look through Stephen A. Smith's phone and look at his contact list? His contact list is probably insane.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: Can I throw a quick little side into this 3-pointer? Mm-hmm. There's been some and one baby. There's been some a lot of talk online about Stephen A. Smith this week and the whole Lonzo Ball situation. Mm-hmm. Lonzo Ball came out in the Trae Young podcast and said, "I'm going to be out for the next year. Final surgery, hopefully he's done and he comes back, plays next year." Mm-hmm. But then Stephen A. has come out and said basically he can't sit down. Reports are saying he can't even sit down. Then Lonzo comes back and he's like, "Bro, you don't know what you're talking about. He's sitting down, getting up on the injured knee." And then Stephen A. just comes back with I felt like one of the most petulant responses. And what are your thoughts on is that a weird engagement, or do you think Stephen A. crossed the line there, or what do you think about that?
I think I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about. I know the Lonzo stuff. I didn't see what Stephen A. said though. I'm not surprised to hear that.
Just in general though, do you think that sometimes those narratives are that are pushed out there by some of the national media guys just tend to cross the line sometimes?
I think that a lot of these guys, we talk about this stuff all the time, having the source or having a connection or something. That stuff is only as good as when you're hearing it, who you're hearing it from. Because sometimes we forget that people are human and there can be some BS thrown in there.
Right.
He probably heard that from somebody that he trusts, that Lonzo Ball can't walk, that he can't sit down, all these type of things. So it's only as good as what was said in the moment.
Yeah.
Did you see his interview he had with Paul George? Though?
I have not seen it, but I heard he was awesome.
Yeah,
in
it was
that
good stuff.
Interview.
I gotta go look at what you're talking about, man. I might look at it during the break before my man Bobby Ford comes on.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. Yeah. I felt like he could have shown a little bit more grace to Lonzo Ball and been like, man, you've been through a lot these last few years. Let me just back down off of this and not like publicly shame him. And I felt like it just kind of crossed the line a little bit. And you know, if you hadn't seen it, I get it. But I go, man, just it's okay to sometimes be like, yo, I'm going to take a step back and disengage from this. Yeah. You know, I'm wrong on this. You know,
especially when you're talking about something as severe as an injury,
right?
Possibly career shifting, if nothing else. His career might not be over, but yeah, Lonzo's.
It's definitely shifted the trajectory of his career.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man, we're about to take a break. When we come back, my man Bobby Ford from 901 Wrestling. Gonna have a quick sit down with him, chop it up. September 2nd, big match against Ken Dane. Gotta get some revenge, man, on him. We'll see you guys in a minute here on the Anthony Sain Show.
What's up, guys? I'm so excited to announce that we have partnered with Coaching for Literacy, and you can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription to Bluff City NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. Thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Of the beers you've had and ranked on this show on Tigers Untapped, what beer represents Tiger football this year?
What? First of all,
An incredible question.
what an absolutely thoughtful question. And I'm going, which is, I think, one of the highest rated beers that I've given in Memphis style lager for two reasons. One, this should be Silverfield's highest rated team. And two, I think this is going to be a Memphis style team. Grit, blue collar, hard-nosed, defensive.
I'm going to say Memphis Sands.
Wow, they're like the aquifer.
Yes, I'm going to say Memphis Sands because I think this is...
Because the rest of the Americans got to filter through Memphis Tiger football to get to the championship. TJ, I like where you're at.
something like that. I'm going to say because I think this is going to be one hell of a year, and Memphis Sands is one hell of a beer.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
One Wrestling returns to the Black Lodge next Saturday night. The Labor Day weekend, that Saturday, is returning to the Black Lodge. Tickets are available at the door right now at 901wrestling.com. In addition to the main event, featuring my guy DJ Fury, he was on there a couple weeks ago, challenging Hunter Havoc for the 901 Wrestling Championship. My guest today, Bobby Ford, joins me, and we're going to talk about the score he has to settle with the All-American Ken Dane. Bobby Ford, my guy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Pull the mic up to you, my brother.
Right up here. Shout.
Yeah,
Okay.
pull it back
Yeah,
to
can
you.
hear me. Here?
No, sit back and pull the mic to
Sit
you.
back.
No, there you
Bring
go,
it
bro.
to
Yeah.
me. You can tell I ain't never done this before.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But
Okay, so back to the top. Let me get back serious. Okay?
Yeah, you good.
Big score to settle with Ken Dane, like you said. It seems like every time I come out there at the Black Lodge, this guy just has a problem with me. And
wait a minute. Oh shit. Damn. Hold on, man. Damn.
September 2nd, I end it.
Yeah, y'all, we're back on the Anthony Sain Show. Not really sure what happened just then. Ken Dane came into the room, jumped on Bobby. We've contacted authorities, trying to reach 901 Wrestling, man. We can't have stuff like that jumping off, man. But about to take a break, y'all. When we come back, we're going to do Inside the Same Brain. Wild stuff going on up here at the Bluff City Media Studios, y'all. But yeah, check out 901 Wrestling, September the 2nd. Hopefully these guys can get whatever y'all just saw before the break was off. But we'll be back in a minute. More Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
every single opportunity with all this realignment nonsense going on, every single opportunity this year, especially at home, is a way to show power conferences that
Without a
you're
doubt.
worthy.
Without
You know what
a
I mean? Like, not only the on-field product, I think for the team, winning those shows your value. But if you have
Atmosphere.
35, 40,
Yes.
45 deep every single game, that means something. That really does.
Yes.
Even if you win 10 games and there's no one there, it's like how
Then you're not attractive to,
You're not
to
showing
bigger
value.
conferences. You're not.
as much as the product has to show its value, I think the fan base does too. You have to
Yes.
show your value.
Yes, because guess what comes from butts and seats? Money.
Yep.
What is all of this about at the end of the
Money.
day? That is it.
Yep.
So if you show you can fill a stadium, have people engaged from a television audience, and win games, that's the secret sauce.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Just curious, you kind of talked about the transfers and things like that. How has that changed your mindset from a roster management standpoint? Like, incredible recruiter. All the classes, I think we had 2 back-to-back and 21 and 22 top classes. How does that change with the transfer portal? Do you start focusing more on upperclassmen? Do you kind of get away from the younger freshmen? How does that work?
Yeah, so I still believe in our coaching staff and the way we do things and developing guys. And that I will never get away from that philosophy. We're still going to recruit a high school class. Now, there's a lot of colleges out there that say, screw this. We're pushing all the chips in on this roster, win right now, and we'll figure it out. Sure. And if it doesn't, right, it implodes and bad things happen. But I think you still have to bring in true freshmen and develop them and see what they can become. And that I'll never waver from that. But the portal certainly changed things.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Next Insane Show. Wild stuff going on over here in the Bluff City Media Studios for sure.
Man.
Yeah, man. Wild stuff, man. I'm glad we got all that on video. I'm glad my black ass didn't have nothing to do with it. I quickly got about the way Kenny stuff.
Yeah, man. Assault is not cool, man.
Yeah, man. We ain't got. I mean, we want y'all to have. We want y'all to get your shit off, and but do that stuff in the ring, man. Y'all, we renting this stuff, man. We this stuff ain't paid for, man. What y'all doing? Like, we got rental center gonna be calling us tomorrow, looking for a payment.
I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to Tommy Jackson.
Ken Dang,
I got to talk to Ken Dang's people and see if we can get some breaking shit up here,
Yeah,
man. He's
man,
breaking
come on,
stuff, man. Come on.
We ain't got no insurance on this shit. But yeah, man, make sure y'all check them out, man. September 2nd at Black Lodge. 9-on-1 wrestling is gonna be some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff going on up right at my feet, man. I just seen a dude looking like the Asian brawny man, looking like an Asian lumberjack. Just came in and just dropped a thumb inside Bobby Ford's throat. So yeah, man, wild stuff, man, for sure. But inside the same brain, as we wrap up today, this is the first ever organic off the air inside the same brain. I had something else to talk about. I had this to talk about actually for Wednesday's show. Pushed it to today's show. But now this came up, and we're going to talk about this. Interesting conversation me and Kenny Stubblefield had during the earlier break after Fred Jones left the show. We were talking about the total impact of the Southern Heritage Classic. The millions of dollars that come to the city. I can't remember the number. I saw it earlier, but you're talking about major numbers that come into the city money-wise from the Southern Heritage Classic. Black colleges, alumni, Greeks, business people, doctors, all these different people come together to the city of Memphis from all over the country to celebrate just blackness at the Liberty Bowl, man. But I guarantee you one thing. The Liberty Bowl has a new name now. I guarantee you the people that go to the Classic ain't calling it none of that, Kenny Stubblefield. But the question that was posed, because I was feeling myself, Kenny, after Fred Jones left the studio, and I said, Kenny, I want you to lie to me. I want you to look in my face and lie to me and tell me that what would be a bigger event in totality? Any year of the Southern Heritage Classic or University of Memphis versus Alabama in the Liberty Bowl. And Kenny, you and also Perry Sharkey told me I lost my mind when I said that the Classic would be bigger.
I mean, come on, man. Tennessee, Alabama.
I didn't ask you what would be a bigger football game. Because Memphis versus Bethune-Cookman might be a bigger game than the Classic as far as football goes. But I'm talking about the totality of the event. Kenny Stubblefield.
The totality of the event, the Southern Heritage Classic.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that Saturday, like the economic impact of that Saturday alone. With
See,
that
now you
many
trying to
people,
downplay the Saturday, and I still win. If you talk
No.
about just the Saturday by itself, it's bigger, Kenny.
Absolutely not.
Kenny, have you lost your mind, man?
Absolutely not.
You know how many Negroes are going to be in town?
Absolutely
Oh,
not.
that Saturday, man.
You know how many rednecks are coming
You
to
know how
town?
many white people going to be? I ain't coming to Memphis because they're not coming to Memphis. Do you really want to go there with it?
I'm telling you.
Is that what you want to do for real?
It would be blown up. The Liberty Bowl will have never held as many people if Alabama and Tennessee.
You are out of
here.
your mind.
I'm not.
Kenny, Tennessee versus Memphis was here about 20 years ago, right?
And it was massive.
It ain't big. It ain't big as the Classic any. You ever been to the Classic, bro?
I have not.
Well, don't tell me because the Classic. Well, that little cute shit y'all call tailgating at Tiger Lane. Nah,
Stop it.
Nah,
Stop it.
Man, you lost your mind, bro.
Stop it.
There's people tailgating from the Liberty Bowl all the way through the mound.
SEC.
You crazy, bro?
SEC tailgating. Come on, man.
This ain't the SEC though, man.
Alabama, Tennessee's SEC. You got SEC tailgating.
No, I'm not saying Tennessee versus Alabama. I'm saying the University of Memphis versus Alabama.
Oh, it'd still be bigger.
You lost your mind, Kenny.
What?
There will be 1 million Negroes
I understand.
in Memphis for the Classic.
I understand. I'm just saying, it's a massive event.
Nah, bro, you wrong.
Listen, Alabama, Nick Saban, come play in Memphis and say, let's test this out because I don't have it's a hypothetical, right? Like I don't have a real. Yeah, this is exactly what's going. Like this is exactly what's happening because they'll never come here and play.
Right.
Southern Heritage Classic is
every year
one of the coolest events.
It's amazing.
I mean, it is an amazing.
Let me ask you
event.
this, Kenny.
Yeah.
If Tennessee plays Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Would there be somebody outside selling bootleg Alabama gear or whatever?
Yes.
If Memphis plays Alabama.
Yes.
Would there be somebody selling fish plates?
Yes.
Seafood bowls?
Yes.
It's a lie. It's a lie.
I'm just telling
Now,
you.
will the stadium be packed? Yes. But it's not going to be. It's the stuff going on outside of the football game at the Classic that makes it incredible, bro. It's going to be ridiculous.
You're asking. It is a week-long event, the Southern Heritage Classic. I mean, it is it is across the city, parades, fashion shows. It's
a parade inside my city.
It's a boss level event.
Yep.
But in terms of that Saturday, bro, come on.
See, now you're trying down. Hey, bro, you know what, bro? I dare you, Kenny Stubblefield, to go to the Classic, man.
I would love to go. If my job didn't preclude me from going, I would love to go.
Next year we going.
Next year we're going. I'm putting it in the calendar. I don't care who Memphis plays that week. We're going. I'm there.
And you gonna say, yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
This is a real black spirit.
Listen.
You might say it's 1 million Negroes.
Maybe not. Maybe not. I might not say that.
Yeah, just say it to me. Pull me up to
Can
the
I
side.
whisper in your ear?
Yeah.
Hey,
don't
man.
say it out loud.
Anthony.
It's 1 million Negroes out here. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, bro, the Classic, y'all know it. If you disagree, argue with me in the comments if you want. But I'm telling y'all, the Classic is incredible. And it would kill anything.
Yeah.
Now, if it was Tennessee versus Alabama, yeah, it would be ignorant down here.
Yeah.
But no. Memphis, University of Memphis couldn't hold weight.
This is not me downplaying the coolness, the atmosphere, the energy, the vibe of the Southern Heritage Classic. I think, you know what? Let me just tell you one of the things that's coolest about the Southern Heritage Classic. So many sporting events across the country folded after COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't make it back.
Yeah.
Because they had a couple of years off.
Yeah, that mug came back.
Guess what came back?
With fury.
With fury and force.
And it's so great, man.
And it's so great.
It's so great, bro. Like, they have this dope-ass prayer.
Yeah,
Pastor Rosalind Nichols comes out there and prays before the game. Because you've seen the game, you just ain't never been.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, man, it's I love it.
I mean, the cool. Here's how you know the Southern Heritage Classic is an event and not just a game. Jackson State's not playing, and it is going to be just as big this year.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be just as big.
Yeah, man. Sign me up. I'll be in the building. Hope you guys will be in the building as well. But yeah, man. But it's been a great show, man. Wild stuff going on. Probably the wildest episode we've had, for sure. Props again to Fred Jones, legendary Memphian native. He really man, when he was just talking about the responsibility he felt like he had for his city, man, to give back, that really stood out to me for sure. Props to Fred Jones. Prayers from my boy Bobby Ford, man. That man get hit in this goddamn throat. I know that mess did not feel good, man. Ken Dang, shame on you. And for Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass, it's your boy Anthony Sain. We'll see y'all next time on the Anthony Sain Show. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.